Okay. Senator Lunsford. Senator Drawad. Senator Jobe.
Here.
Senator Parrish. Senator Jacobs.
Here.
Senator Williams.
Here.
Senator Washburn.
Here.
Senator Freshour. Senator Shaka.
Here.
Senator Bell.
Here.
Senator Method. Senator John.
Here.
Senator Sweetland.
Here.
Senator Camarillo.
Here.
Senator Meek.
Here.
Senator Robertson.
Here.
Senator Merrow.
Here.
Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Daniel. Senator Dukes.
Here.
Senator Fruit. Oh, you're here. She's here. Senator Jackson.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Mazzock.
Here.
Senator Morrison.
Here.
Senator Mosley.
Here.
Senator Aguidello. Senator Hart.
Here.
Senator Strong.
Here.
Senator Toplin. And Senator Seeley.
Here.
Is there any discussion over last week's minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving last week's minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? None. Those pass. Is there anyone here for open forum? Also none. All right, we have two people up for speaker's podium. First is going to be on Zoom, so I'm going to give the floor over to Brooke Lopez.
Did this work?
Yeah, so now you can share your screen with us.
Is it showing my face?
It's probably about to. Hold on. It's about to. Now it is.
Yay, okay, so I did not have like a formal presentation prepared, but I was here to answer any questions you guys have because most of the materials that we generally present are like documents and I didn't really want to put those in a PowerPoint format, but do you want me to just talk a little bit about period and what it is, or do you want me to answer y'all's questions? Whatever works best for y'all.
Go ahead and talk about it for a minute. Kind of give us an introduction of what y'all do and what your process is.
Yeah, so Period Incorporated, it used to be formerly called Camions of Care, also formerly called Period, the Menstrual Movement, is a nonprofit founded out of Seattle, Washington by a young woman who actually just ran for city council this past election cycle. And she founded it because she was homeless for a period of time and
Heart.
Please no. Don't do this. Hold on, Brooke. You're cutting out a little bit. Just 1 second.
and
No.
there's a dramatic need for menstrual hygiene products among homeless individuals as well.
Ow. Ow.
Are we good?
Hold on. Sorry. Oh wait. Okay. Now try. No. I can't hear you.
You muted her.
No, it's unmuted. Okay. Wait. Okay. I can hear you. Go.
You can?
Yes. Okay. Go.
Okay, perfect. Long story short, Period as a nonprofit has just recently started opening up the policy format, which is what I think you guys are most interested in. So while as a chapter, we generally work, as a nonprofit, we generally work with chapters across the nation to fundraise money and to collect products. As a student government organization, we try to aim with you guys a little bit differently. We don't want to make you guys feel like you have to fundraise a certain number of products. And so what we've offered is we just introduced our policy aspect, which if you are to make a chapter, the policy aspect is something that we've actually been working on at UT Dallas. It is when we work to bring policy to a campus focused on menstrual equity. And menstrual equity is essentially just saying that we think it's only fair that menstrual hygiene products are treated as much of a necessity as toilet paper. So, for example, like at UT Dallas,
You're doing so good. Hold on, Brooke. You were out of 1 sec.
started the movement there just because where we give out menstrual equity products, menstrual hygiene products in restrooms, in some of our most trafficked restrooms. That way students who are lower income can use them, students who possibly don't have products on them, students who are too uncomfortable to ask for these products. And our end all argument is that it helps protect the educational opportunity of young women. So essentially, this is something that you can use as an argument with Title IX, because not having these products is discriminating against young women or women who still have a female reproductive system, who are either menstruating or through menopause, since there's also not an age limit on a student. And so that's kind of why we're advocating for this policy. And it's actually a lot more simple than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I feel like it's probably best if you guys have questions, just shoot them at me now that you kind of know what period is and what we'd want to do with you guys specifically. And I can answer all of your questions or tell you how it kind of looks.
Senator Bell.
How do we go about getting supplies? Do we have to go through the organization in order to get them or request them, or how does that work?
Great. So that's the way we work with policy is we try to ask the university for either a budget switch or some sort of finance switch to where the university will incur that cost. So right now, I'm going to assume, I haven't done much research on UT Tyler yet, but I'm going to assume that UT Tyler, their products that are currently, do you guys have dispensers right now in at least some of your restrooms?
There's 5 dispensers throughout campus, and currently 3 of which are out of service. I don't know when they'll be back in service or how long that's been the case, but there are only 5.
Got it. Okay. So that we will work on. But what we generally do is we ask that the university right now, the budget that they have set aside for purchasing these products, most of the time universities have what's called a self-sustaining budget, which means that whatever money is put into that machine is the money that they use to buy more product. Only thing is that most of the time those machines only have about like $7 or so on average coming out of them, depending on how many students you have on your campus. And that's not enough money to purchase those products. So what we're asking is that we work with the facilities management so that they incur that to pay for the supplies, and we help introduce that into the community by saying, okay, maybe we don't need to do all of our dispensers. Maybe we'll start with the ones that are most used and just see what it looks like if we give them out for free, how that'll affect us. So like at UTD, we were originally going to do all the dispensers, give them all out for free, but the budget doesn't really account for taking on that cost, especially since they will be free. There might be an increase in the usage of them. And so what we're doing is we're taking our 3 most used restrooms and we're adding dispensers that are, it's like a time-lapse dispenser. So there's a bunch of different ways we can work with you guys. We'll work with your situation. But for us, we are going to have restrooms that give out the free products in their dispensers and see how often they'll have to be restocked and refilled and how much product will have to be purchased. And then from there, we're going to take our information, work with facilities management, and we will go to a meeting with budget and finance on our campus and discuss why it's important that they get extra money put into the custodial budget to include these items. So it's a little bit of a process. However, since UTD is doing our program pilot before schools like you guys, you might be able to just use our data that we end up collecting from this pilot program and go straight to your facilities management and say, look, we'd love to go to budget and finance with you guys so that we can help you put it in your budget if they don't have room for it. If they do, perfect. All you have to do is just say, would you be willing to make this budget shift and include this in your budget? And most of the time people don't argue with that. So
Parliamentarian Hicken.
So Are there any other options that you guys have used ever besides the university incurring the costs that would work or that we could look into, say that if that route doesn't work for our university?
In terms of the supplies?
Yeah, just like the how we would get them if the university was not going to be able to incur the cost.
Yeah, so there are a couple other universities who have not done it through period, but we've collected the research on it, so we are helping universities right now. One is that some universities apply for a grant from a nonprofit that'll most likely give. So like, for example, if your student government decided to apply for a grant that would give you guys a couple $1,000s that you could work with over a few years. Obviously, the end-all goal is to have this be a set-in-place program. So you want your university to eventually work with you on adding it to their budget. If initially they aren't interested in that, there's, you could do fundraising with GoFundMe. We've had some universities go through, and I don't know if you guys have this because I know we don't, but there's like some sort of undergraduate finance board or an undergraduate fund that just kind of has a surplus of money. And they get to pick like a project that a lot of, am I cutting out again?
Yeah, you were, but you're good now.
Okay. They do tampons, but I'm not sure that they would have a system set up where we could consistently provide products to a university. The best bet would honestly be to have a discussion with budget and finance, which is something that's a lot easier than it seems, because it shouldn't be on the responsibility of student government to pay for it. We should be talking to your university's administration and saying that this is something that North Texas is doing. It's mandated in New York City. There's like a whole pitch we can give to them, and it's for the health of the students. It's a Title IX enforcement, and most of the time, budget and finance is willing to work with giving custodial or facilities management that money to continue purchasing those products. That way, this is a continual thing, not just like a one-time project.
Secretary McDaniel.
I don't know if this is more question for you, Brooke, or for like us as SGA. If we weren't able to do like a free dispensing kind of deal, is there any way we could use like our P2 cards and use like for dining dollars, or is that considered like SGA wise we can't sell? In order, let's say the dispensing doesn't work and the budget's too high, could we charge it on our P2 cards, through dining dollars, through money you put on the cards, so on and so forth?
I'll answer that one if you don't mind, Brooke. I think it would probably be more expensive to install the equipment to be able to take your P2 card than it would be to just go ahead and pay for the product in the short term, at least.
Okay.
And I can also add, so UT Dallas, we just got dispensers maybe 5 years ago, and they spent about $20,000 putting 50 dispensers in across the university. And we're finding out that they upped the cost of them. So originally it was 10 cents, a 10-cent dispenser. And now we have 25-cent dispensers, and the 10-cent dispensers don't work, but they're still installed. And so what we've begun doing with our university is asking to, we've got two plans. For the ones that already have dispensers, what we're doing is we're ordering an adapter that'll essentially take out the coin mechanism in the dispenser, and people can just grab as they need. That did provide a little bit of a worry because of the obvious of people taking more than need, or people taking it to destroy things with, there's a mechanism, it's free, and you press the button, but you're only allowed to grab one for a certain period of time. And that seems to be the route that UTD is going to take. So in our biggest use bathrooms, we're going to most likely purchase these dispensers. And then in our lower use restrooms, we're going to end up getting these adapters that'll change the dispensers that are already in place to limit our costs. That way we don't have to get new dispensers. And then as for the products, you can still take the money that is currently in the dispensers. It's just to sustain. And honestly, you guys might be shocked with how much is actually spent on this stuff. It's in the hundreds. Like for UT Dallas, which correct me if I'm wrong, but are we larger than UT Tyler?
You are.
Yeah.
Okay, we're only spending like maybe $400 a year on menstrual hygiene products. So I'm sure you guys probably spend a lot less, and it's something that it's not like we're asking for $20,000 to be incurred in a custodial budget. We're asking for like 100. Yeah, sorry.
Parliamentarian Hicken.
So if we do go the route of getting a chapter on campus, it would be through a student organization, obviously. But then how would we then work with, like you, I'm assuming is who we would be working with.
Mhm.
How would that correspondence work, I guess, as far as like working with our student organizations and
Yeah.
your resources?
So you would work directly with me because I work in the southern states, which obviously have a lot harder of a time making an argument. So what I do in that sense, like once you get a chapter established, I literally send you the pitch I wrote, and this is where if it doesn't work with budget and finance, we've got it covered because there's a couple different routes you can take. So obviously our number one recommendation is to go straight to facilities management with the pitch that we make, give you guys our skeleton budget, show you how to do it. And I also help make that connection for you. So I'll reach out to facilities management alongside you guys and say, UT Tyler period chapter and the UT or the period South regional director are here to discuss doing this. So I'll be essentially, the reason that you make a chapter is so that I can help you with all of your meetings, help you with whatever you guys need. If you don't want me to go to the meetings, I don't have to, but if you do, I'm more than willing to Skype in or possibly make a drive to UT Tyler. But like that's, it's essentially having me be there. And in addition, getting all of our paperwork. So you'll get so if we go through facilities management, if that doesn't work and facilities doesn't want to work with us, we'll go to budget and finance. Budget and finance doesn't want to work with us. What you guys can do, and what we've seen at other schools, is do a student government resolution that calls for this budget change to happen. And then you get a petition through your university that we end up getting a large number of signatures and advocacy support. And then you take that and you present it again to budget and finance, or essentially to your university administration, like your university president or your provost or whoever you guys work closely with. Take it to them and say, look, this is what the students want. And then most of the time it works. But we try to take the easiest route. That way we don't upset anyone. You know, we don't want to go the hardest route first, but there's definitely a step after if for some reason facilities management isn't interested, budget and finance aren't initially interested. We can take the route of getting the students essentially riled up and then go to the administration with it. So if you guys make a chapter, I'll help you work directly with that and just like determine what we need to do next to kind of help move it along.
Senator Bell.
So say we create this student organization and we accomplish everything that we want to get accomplished. What is the long-term goal after everything has been implemented at the university for this organization? Does it just get dissolved at that point? Or are there other steps and other things that could potentially continue this organization?
So it's up to you guys. If you guys want to solely be an organization that focuses initially on policy, we work together until your policy is set in place. If you guys want to be an organization that continues this chapter after we work on policy, you can do that. So for example, period Dallas, obviously Dallas has a much stronger constituency for menstrual equity policy. But if you guys want to, we can set up a chapter. And once your chapter's set up, we can change your goals as we continue. So we have some chapters that all they do is collect menstrual hygiene products and they're happy with that and they don't want to touch policy. Then we have some chapters, mainly student governments, who have a period chapter just to get the licensing to all of our stuff. And then once they're done, they never renew their chapter, which is also fine. It's just up to you guys and what you want to see as a continuation. So if you want to continue by doing the products, possibly advocating in a local school ISD. So that's another thing. Once you guys make a chapter, you can make this policy advocacy. You can start advocating in like other local school districts, things like that. If that interests you, it's really up to you guys and what you want.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Brooke, and thank you for speaking.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm gonna go. Thank you guys. I'm gonna log out just so you know I'm leaving. Okay, bye. Bye.
At this point, we have CAB here to speak with us, and this is their president, Jim. You can speak from wherever you feel like. So,
And I'm going to go ahead and get behind here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jay Perry. Some of you guys know me, some of you don't, but I'm one of the co-presidents for CAB. And we wanted to come today, well, I say we, I'm representing the whole entire e-board in their absence, but we wanted to be here today to kind of restate the CAB formal because we want you guys to help us out with it. And so last time it was brought up in discussion in you guys' meeting, it was a little bit of miscommunication. So I'm here to kind of fill that void, okay? So basically, this formal is going on Friday, January 19th from 9 to 12, and it's going to be happening at Lake Tyler Petroleum Club. Has anyone ever been there before? Some has. Well, good. Well, see, everyone didn't raise their hands. And so this is why we want to have it there, because it promotes a vibrant student life and also gives students a little bit more experience of Tyler. We have a lot of students that aren't from Tyler. So, you know, for us to have something nice and exciting for them off campus is always really good. So we need help with greeters at the facility. We also need people to help decorate hours before and then to tear down a little bit after, and then also to help work the cards. So like whenever our guests are coming through, their students, they have to swipe their card, and they'll also have, you know, a guest coming with them. We also at first needed people to pretty much help carpool. That was just an idea that we have. CAB, we have a really nice budget, but we were like, you know what could we help save? Like, where can we save money? And so we were thinking, we don't want anyone to ever say, man, I can't go to the formal because I don't have a ride. We were thinking, how can we help service those students? So we were saying, you know what, maybe we can carpool. That was just an idea, but based off some comments, you know, everyone isn't quite for it, and that's fine. But we have another way that we want to go about that. We have found shuttles that UT Tyler offers, and so these shuttles would meet at the UC at a certain time. They would transport students to this facility and then take them back to UT. And so how we would know how many students that we have, as we're advertising for this formal, we would also advertise that, hey, we are having a shuttle that's running back and forth just in case you don't have a ride. That way we have a head count and that we know how many people are needing rides, basically. So again, Lake Tyler Petroleum Club, it has so much to offer. This is going to be an amazing event. We just want you guys to help us with that. At Lake Tyler Petroleum Club, some of you guys already know, but they have a big lake, a giant deck that has light streamers. They have a fire pit that we're going to do s'mores at. And also we're going to be able to do a fireworks show. So we have so many exciting things going on that night. I was so fortunate to have a tour at this facility. And so as I walked in, I was just able to see like all of this coming into fruition. We have a lot of things rolling now. We've gotten our invoice from Lake Tyler Petroleum Club. We've gotten our invoice from the Potpourri House, who will be catering the food. Got our invoice from the photo booth, the photographer, the DJ, so on and so forth. So we're pretty much cheerleaders for SGA. We want you guys to do the same thing for us with this formal. Again, like I said, I won't be before you long, but I know you guys are going to have a question and discussion period. Whenever that time comes, I will be more than happy to answer any questions. I'll do it to the best of my ability. But that is all that I have for you guys.
Yeah, we can hold the Q&A now.
Okay.
It's easier.
All right.
Parliamentarian Hickey.
So you guys are asking for a co-sponsorship then?
Yes.
Still? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so these things that you mentioned, the greeters, decorators, and people doing card swiping, that's what the co-sponsorship would entail?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that it?
That is it as of right now. Yes, ma'am. That is it. So if you guys have a yes, if you say yes, anything else comes up, like any other miscellaneous duties that would come up, we would also call on our CAB volunteers as well as SGA members that are available.
So you're going through Lake Tyler Petroleum Club. How far of a drive is that?
This drive is between 15 to 20 minutes away from UT Tyler, but once you get on that main road, it's pretty much a straight shot. And also, if I can add this in, the shuttle, you know, of course, the driver of this shuttle knows where they're going. And so a lot of people haven't been to Lake Tyler Petroleum Club, and so they might not know their way. You know, they might have to go off of GPS. So just with the shuttle, you know, that just prevents like any other things from happening. I know all of us are safe drivers, but, you know, just the fact that it's going to be off campus, we do have that shuttle and everything like that. So that kind of puts everyone else's minds at ease for people kind of coming up on curbs too fast or things like that.
Any other questions? Okay. Oh, Senator Seeley?
Freshman senator. What is CAB formal?
What is a CAB formal?
Yeah.
Well, to my knowledge, this will be the very first formal that UT Tyler would have. So a formal, kind of like a prom, basically. Just a formal, just for us to just get off campus and have a good time all together. Safe, fun. And to give you a chance to dress up. A lot of people haven't been to a formal event since their prom. Me, I haven't been to a formal event since like 2015. I was in a debutante. So, you know, so it's always nice to dress up, you know, see everybody looking good and just having a good time.
Senator Meza?
What if like somebody wants to leave early and the shuttle isn't there, or how often will it run to and from that?
Now, Andrew Miller, I'm sure a lot of you guys know him. He, for CAB, he is our director of committee chairs, and this has pretty much been his total project. Me as one of the co-presidents, we've pretty much been his overseer, and so in his absence, right now, I would probably get back to you on that answer. I don't have the answer for that just yet, but that is something I definitely can get to you in no time.
Senator Romero?
So considering that it would be some mandatory event for us, that would mean that all of us would have to purchase formal wear.
If you're gonna be like, you know, out in the formal, like enjoying it, like as in partaking of the food and dancing and everything like that, of course we want you guys to look nice. But if you just kind of want to be a runner, if you want to be just someone that just sets up and stuff like that and just in the background, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if you just had on like your SGA t-shirts. Maybe y'all have those or something like that. But I know that's not everybody's judge to get all dolled up and things like that.
Senator Joe?
So just clarifying, this is only available to CAB students?
Oh no, it's for the whole entire student body
Okay.
at UT Tyler.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Senator Shaka?
Do students have to purchase tickets to go, or is it completely free?
It's completely free. But we would have pretty much we already have a head count because we've already gotten our invoice from the caterers because we did it through a survey. And I know you guys are familiar with that, but we've also been, you know, talking about this word of mouth at our CAB events. So we have a very big number of people who will be supporting this.
Parliamentarian Hickey?
I just wanted to address Senator Romero's question. The question of whether or not it would even be mandatory in the first place is that would be something that we would determine if we decided that we did want to co-sponsor, then that's obviously something that the Senate decides. And then if we did want to make it a mandatory event, that would be something that the executive board would decide later on. But you guys are welcome to, you know, give your input on that aspect of it as well during discussion later on.
Vice President Seeley?
Will there be sort of like a limit on the number of people? I don't know if you have to like register in advance or if you just show up and card swipe, and what sort of like limit on attendees there will be?
To my knowledge, 300.
Okay. We're a sixth of that in this room.
Parliamentarian Hickey?
Is that the number that you guys are anticipating?
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the things that we've talked about with Josh is that to just go over what Katie said. We co-sponsor. We're going to have to be highly involved. It's not just something we're going to slap our name on. So as y'all guys think on this, make sure that y'all guys are willing to do that. It's not fair to CAB if we just kind of say that we're going to be a part of their event and just show up. So I don't see any other questions. Thank you. So for officer reports, I just want to thank all of y'all guys for coming out last night to Midnight Breakfast and participating and being there. And then also just kind of what I've done over the week is I'm still working pretty hard to make sure everything's going smoothly on the tuition committee, and also been preparing a little bit for stuff that we have to have for UT SAC, which is coming up soon. So that's kind of been a lot of my time. Vice President Seeley?
I've been super busy this week, but I do want to start off by just kind of saying thank y'all for being there last night. Miss Tammy was really impressed with how many people we had. That's totally a record for us. We had almost no senators miss that event. And just, she was amazed at how helpful we were and how we cleaned things up and how we handled the event with such professionalism. So I'm really proud of us. I've been working on the bike survey that's out. Take that survey and encourage your friends, your constituents. I've also been meeting with Bob Hepler and Chris Thompson, as well as representatives from bike share companies. And we've found one that we're interested in, and a representative is flying in from San Francisco on November 29th, and they will be here for the SGA meeting to talk to you guys. They're also meeting with some administration here, as well as TJC, the City of Tyler and Texas College. They're interested in bringing their program to the whole city as a sort of environmental and Get Fit initiative. They're a really great company. They're in Seattle, and they're also in San Francisco. It's called SPIN, if you want to check it out. So that'll be a big meeting. I've been working really hard on getting that together. I've been working really hard on an event, a program that we will hopefully get to start this finals year. We came up with in our committee. It's called Move Through Finals. And I'll go into a little bit more detail during committee reports on that. I hope y'all are having a great week.
Secretary McDaniel?
Thanks for coming out. I guess more committee report than anything. I guess, absence forms. They come to me if anyone has one. Some people have been kind of going to Katie about them, or just kind of randomly. Please send them to me, amcdaniel@uttyler.edu, and 48 hours. And that's really all I got. Thank you.
Treasurer Machado?
Okay, well, this week, the EV and I, we've been wanting to do an activity or an event that would benefit our community. So we talked about it and decided to do socks in a box, which is quite literally you put socks in a box, and we plan to give it, go to hospitals, maybe nursing homes, and maybe homeless people, and give these out to people. I was wanting to do it in the holiday season, but it's going to get cold, but we don't have enough time, so we're going to start doing that hopefully in February for Valentine's Day. So it's just in the beginning stages. I just want to tell you all about that. And also, after Thanksgiving, I plan to present the budget to y'all so you can know what we're spending money on and how much money we have left. And lastly, senator projects, we have $4,000 in that budget line. And so if any of y'all have any ideas, it doesn't matter what they are, you can come talk to us about it, and we can help you out with that. That's all I got.
Parliamentarian Hickey?
Hey y'all, so this week I have been kind of working to get the election applications going, trying to figure out some dates that we're going to put on there so that when people sign up for elections, they'll know when our GA is going to be. But we also have a couple other things. So first off, just general announcement. The senator elections are going to be April 19th and 20th. So I announced officer elections last week. Those are going to be March 1st and 2nd. Senator elections are April 19th and 20th. So if you have any questions about filing or anything like that. You can come to anybody on the executive board. We're hopefully going to get the applications up here pretty soon. Obviously, it's not something you have to worry about right away, but just kind of have that in the back of your mind as we, are going into like the crazy end of the semester. It's gonna come fast next semester, so just be getting ready for it.
Student voice reports. Let's start with nursing.
Well, of course, this is cool to get a coffee shop. That's and then a lot of people have voiced to me that they want mock interviews into one of our classes, which is called leadership. I'm going to go talk to our teachers.
Patriot Village.
Well, the main thing many people talk about is kind of open next to the Wi-Fi, kind of goes in and out. That's like obvious that I've heard.
I've heard from a lot of people, including myself, that the sprinklers are a big issue. There's nowhere to park in our parking lot where we don't put our cars. And also, they always get their walkways wet, and obviously, but they spray onto the walkways, and it's a big issue with people trying to leave to their So I don't know if we can do anything about that.
That would be something that would be like a facilities issue. We could talk to them to see if there's anything that they can do to maybe like limit where it turns as far as your sprinklers rotation. I don't necessarily know how they would do that, but we'll see if there's anything that they have. You'll notice, well, I have this, y'all don't. I'll get there. I'm getting there. So the next section here is the student voice report follow-ups. We're going to be restarting that. And so what I'm going to say is that you'll come back in next week and talk about what you did to solve what you reported. And so for you, I would suggest going to someone from facilities, probably Andy Kraus. Just look him up on the directory. It's KROUSE. And then that would be something that you could come back and say is that, okay, so I emailed this guy, here's what he said. And so that's how you would handle follow-up. Sarah, it would be different for you for your issue, obviously. And so we're going to start doing that to make sure that we're touching on the things that we're actually talking about. Anything else from Patriot Village? Committee reports, start with student life.
So we met last Friday, and it was really awesome because we came up with this program, Move Through Finals. The idea is that it will promote good study habits as well as stress management during finals week, which is a stressful time. A lot of people do spend the majority of the week studying. The idea is that calculated study breaks as well as movement when you're studying promotes good blood flow, which is good for studying and good for dealing with stress. There's a lot of studies and literature you can find that support those things. And a lot of other universities use their libraries during finals week to sort of promote those breaks and that movement by playing music a couple times in the evenings when a lot of students are in the library. And that's what we want to do. These breaks will sort of prompt students to get up, move around, maybe go talk to their friend, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, get their blood flowing, as well as just take a mental break, because studying consistently for long periods of time is not good for you stress-wise. Again, there's a lot of literature you can find that supports that. I'm not just saying that. And so we hope that I've contacted the librarians, and they're getting back to me slowly, but that this will be a thing here. We hope to have an online poll where students can vote for a song, and then, maybe they'll get excited when their song comes on during finals week. During the study day, we want to have some sort of kickoff where there's like door prizes and food and things of that nature. It's kind of like, this is a study day, you're going to start testing tomorrow, take an hour and blow off some steam. And again, that's all about taking a break and not getting overloaded by your finals and by your stress. Josh's department, Student Life and Leadership, will be co-sponsoring this event. A lot of people are really supportive of us doing this, and I'm excited to get going on it. And I think it's a good idea. I didn't know where I was going, so that's fine.
Communications.
Okay, we didn't meet this week because I was in town, but we will meet next Monday at 10 a.m. We have a lot of stuff to do, so be there. Oh, yeah. And we'll just do it as a buy this week because we had midnight breakfast that we could promote, but arts and sciences, send me your pictures of whatever picture you want because I'm going to post y'all next for Meet Your Center on Mondays. So either like email them to me or send them through Canvas. It don't matter. But yeah, send me a picture because I need to post it by next Monday. Yeah, that's all I got.
SGAC.
We met last Thursday and we had two requests. We approved $310 for the Spanish City side or facade. An event we're going to be holding on the 14th. We'll have hot chocolate and tamales. And we also denied one request.
Rules Committee.
So this past week we started going over the bylaws, and we started off by hopefully we are going to change the rules committee into an ad hoc committee to be determined by the president as when it is necessary, to go over the Constitution and revise the bylaws. And we're going to make student affairs a standing committee and the responsibility of the parliamentarian. All that's appropriate for somebody who's in charge of parliamentary procedure to be in charge of writing bills and resolutions that go before. So, and we also, yeah, that was the main thing we did.
Old business. We'll start off. Parliamentarian Hicken.
Motion to rescind the denial of co-sponsorship for CAP formal.
Motion to
Second.
All right. It's been motioned and seconded to rescind the original denial of the CAB formal parliamentarian or co-sponsorship, sorry, of the CAB formal. Parliamentarian Hicken, you have the floor.
So the way that this motion is worded, after we discuss it, if we were to approve this motion, we will be therefore approving the co-sponsorship of the CAP formal. Just wanted to clarify that. But with the new information that we have, I think that now we can make a better informed decision on it. So I think we need to discuss it a little bit more in the Senate.
Senator Parrish.
I won't be here. I will be graduating, but with that being said, I think that this is a great, not to sound selfish, but I think this is a great opportunity for PR for SGA to actually get out there and kind of communicate with the students and meet the people that are in the same major as you or under your college. I think it's great marketing for us.
Vice President Seeley.
I know some of the concern, if there is any, is probably coming from an area of I have to purchase formal wear, I have to go to formal, maybe that's not my kind of scene. I do truly believe that if we sponsor this, which I'm all for, that there will be, if that's not your thing and you don't want to go out and buy formal wear and you don't want to be a formal attendee, swipe cards, help direct traffic, set up, clean up. You don't have to go and dance and be a part of that if you don't want to. But still being participatory and being involved, that's the most important part in getting out there and being there for SGA and being there for students, because this is really about your constituents and your students, and well, not your students, your peers. It's not necessarily about what's your idea of a fun Saturday evening as far as attending the event.
Secretary McDaniel.
Okay, a couple things. What was, recall the date? January.
Friday, January 19th.
Okay, sorry. Okay, and we will be making it mandatory?
I assume if this goes, yes.
Okay.
If we vote to co-sponsor, Josh has made it very clear that our co-sponsorship needs to have some type of weight to it. So we would make it a mandatory event.
Okay, so with that said, We hold 2 things in an entire year that we make truly mandatory for our committee. And I think one more just to kind of help collaborate with another organization isn't going to hurt any of you. It's a Friday night. I mean, you can meet people, 300 people. I don't know 300 people in the school. Well, she said it was Friday. She said Friday, January 19th.
I said Saturday.
Oh,
by mistake.
I was against it at first, but I thought it was because we had to drag these people, and I didn't feel safe doing that. But I think I'm totally for it now.
Parliamentarian Hicken.
Just in addition to that, I think that it's something that could potentially be, kind of groundbreaking for our university. It could be something that turns into a really big tradition. And to say that we were a part of the very first one would be kind of cool.
Senator Seeley.
I could be wrong, correcting if I am, but I know that CAD had their movie night before our midnight breakfast. I'm sure they do other things to support us and promote SGA, but this is just something small that we could give back. I mean, like, people supporting people, that's what we need.
Senator Shaka.
And this gives us like the opportunity to be able to connect with CAP. Like I personally, I really don't know who's in CAP, so I feel like if we sponsor with them, like we can get to know them and then like other projects out of it too.
Senator Meza.
So if it were mandatory, or if it is gonna be, does that mean if we just go and attend, that means we're like counted as present, or do we have to actually work and like swipe cards or something?
I will address that. Is what I would expect from y'all is that, like I said, that we're helping carry the load. That's what a co-sponsorship for us is going to mean. It's not just slapping our name on all of the advertisements. I would expect y'all to participate in some form of volunteerism with the event, whether that be we sign up some of y'all to help do setup because they don't want to purchase formal wear or, attend the formal. If you don't want to do that, maybe we let you go to setup only. It would be something that the E-Board would have to discuss in detail as to what we're requiring from each of you, but it's not going to be just something we show up to. And I hope does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Vice President Seeley?
Not to say that you should not attend the event, because if you want to attend as like a formal attendee and enjoy the festivities, go for it. There will be a way that you can participate in a volunteerism aspect while still being able to enjoy the festivities. Because I know like going and setting up and then going back the 20 minutes to school to change clothes may not be the best idea for people who want to attend. Does that make sense? But definitely encourage anyone who wants to attend, enjoy the event, enjoy the formal. We'll make it happen.
Secretary McDaniel.
Could we use this as volunteer hours for like another organization? Because I know for NSNA I need some volunteer hours.
Yeah, that would be be something that would have to be determined by Chase's office if I'm assuming it's for NSLS.
NSNA.
NSLS.
Or NSLS.
It would be up to the advisor.
I think as long as it'll give everyone. Cool.
Any other questions or comments? So I'll go ahead and say this just so that we're all on the same page. We denied the first time based on the transportation issue and the alcohol issue. So as long as those two are still taken care of, which I believe they are now that they've had the presentation and reassigned to us what it is that we are responsible for, we would be rescinding that denial and agreeing to co-sponsor. And we're aware that what that means now. So hearing no other comments, it's been motioned and seconded to rescind the original denial. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? That passes.
Okay, put that note coming next.
there any other old business? No. Under new business, we have someone here from that. I have the power to appoint anyone to the Senate seat if it's available. And so this will be one of those appointments. I'm going to let him come and speak to y'all over why he wants to be an SGA. So, Zach, if you would come forward. You can just say why you want to be an SGA. And
hi, I'm Zach Tucker. I'm a freshman who's a chem major, and I live in Omaha. And I want to be a part of SGA just so I can help, because I'll be, what's it considered?
Student body at large.
Student body at large. I just want to help all my friends and every student here at UT Tyler have a voice and just be able to be represented.
At this point, we're going to vote on you. So if you'll step outside, Katie will show you there. I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Zachary Tucker to student body at large. Senator Sweet.
Motion to approve the appointment of the new senator.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve the appointment of this new senator to student body at large. Senator Sweetland, you have the floor.
Hey, seems like a nice kid. Let's give him a check. What more can I say?
Senator Seeley.
I actually know him, and I'm pretty good friends with him. I have 3 classes, and he's really involved. He runs cross country, he's in honors. He has a pretty big reach. He's really nice. So.
Any other comments? All those in favor of his appointment, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? All right. You'll come here.
Congrats.
Thanks. So stand on the side and scoot this way. Right, so I'm going to hold this out so you can see it. And section right up here. So this is student body at large. If you raise your right hand. I, is that your name?
I, Zachary Tucker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interest of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the student body
of the student body
while ardently executing the office of
student body at large senator
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Is there any other new business? All right, hearing none. Advisor comments?
I don't have any comments at this time. But I do need to talk to the E-Board next week about the co-sponsorship.
Got it.
Any announcements?
Yes, me. Sorry.
Secretary McDaniel.
Senator Farouk had asked earlier, but I didn't get a chance to say it. She was wondering if there's any update about the internet issue that you were going to ask about. Students said there's still issues with Wi-Fi.
I've been in contact with Dr. Watley, but what we're being told is that all of the kind of systems were updated recently, and so they're still assessing the new data on where the problem areas are. So I will make sure that we keep correspondence.
Olivia, did you hear that? I don't know if I have to type all that. I'm pretty sure I heard it.
While she's responding back, I do have something. I made an announcement a couple of weeks ago about applications for Regent, being student Regent. If you're interested, please have that application turned in to me by the end of this week in my box.
And if you'll tell Halima, just make sure if she has like a specific area that's a problem spot to email me those so that I can address that easier. If I just say for general campus, it's going to be a lot harder.
Josh, what are those applications called again? Or were they for?
Any other announcements? All right. Secretary McDaniel, would you dispense second roll call, please?
President Simpson.
Here.
Vice President Seeley.
Here.
Treasurer McLeod.
Here.
Parliamentarian Hicken.
Here.
Senator Lunsford.
Here.
Senator Drawad. Senator Jobe.
Here.
Senator Parrish.
Here.
Senator Jacobs.
Here.
Senator Williams.
Here.
Senator Washburn. Senator Freshman. Senator Shuck. Senator Bell.
Here.
Senator Method. Senator John.
Here.
Senator Sweetland.
Here.
Senator Camarillo.
Here.
Senator Meek. Senator Robertson. Senator Romero. Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Daniel.
Here.
Senator Dukes.
Here.
Senator Jackson.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Mazzock.
Here.
Senator Morris.
Here.
Senator Mosley.
Here.
Senator Aguilera. Senator Hart. Senator Strong.
Here.
Senator Copeland. Senator Seeley. Oh, and Senator Tucker.
Here.
Senator Morrison.
Motion to adjourn until next week.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none,
Before y'all leave, I think Jade wanted to mention something or say something real fast.
Yes, before you guys leave, I just wanted to say on behalf of the CAB Executive Board in their absence, our advisor Ashley Wilson and the members at large, we just want to say thank you guys for receiving this idea again about the formal and wanting to participate. Hopefully nothing changes between now and January 19th, but again, we appreciate it. I didn't want to turn around and make too much eye contact or nod or too much. Never wanted to be out of order, but again, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much again.
Thank you.